You are live. Hi, everyone. Let's see what this stuff does. Cropped layout, group layout, spotlight layout, spotlight layout, new layout, screen layout. What up, Ford? And the other three people? There it is. There he is. All right. Invite. Copy. Paste. There you go, brother. How's everyone doing? Screen layout. So, Rain Reach, Jason Fleming, what's up? Regan, what's up? What's cracking? Crack-a-lackin'. Cuckin' Pigs, what's up? There's your link, brother. Clark O'Neill. John Danicola, Mr. John Danicola. Swedish Observer. Hashtag, lots of hashtags. OTVO, I don't know what that means. Ready to wet the bed. Chris, you coming in? Giannis Hinton, just a guy having fun. What's up? Edwardson, what's up? Glenn Cortinas, what's up? Pete Gregory. Joaquin Roy Cards. Paul Jackson, LSR, Karen M. Matthew Eastman, what's up? I sent you the link, bro. Where are you coming on or not? For public safety, I believe his name is Chris, is coming on. If you haven't, what's up, Southeastern PA? I'm also going to have Southeastern PA Community Watch on one of these, and auditing Erie County soon. What's up today? I'm going to put this link in here one more time for public safety. There's the link, bro. Start this interview. Let's do this. Tell us what's going on. So what's going on with me? I have a misdemeanor pending. Some kind of disposition hearing on the 23rd. I don't even know if I'm going to it. Lawyer told me not to make videos and not to do anything until this is over, because anything you can do can be used and twisted and manipulated against you. My case is nothing compared to Chris's case if he comes on. What's up, man? He was helping a guy. This guy's kid was on the highway. I don't know if he ran from the cops or what, but there he is. But once they got never mind. I'll tell you the story with him on there. For public safety, says you're on there. You gotta do your camera and stuff.
Yeah, it's not working. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's weird. Hang on 1 second. I'm trying to come in.
Let me get this dog too and put him somewhere where the sun don't shine. I'll be right back. Hey, get out of here, punk. Go lay down. Doing a video, boo. Video kill. Hey, you can talk to my arm.
Just an arm.
I'll just go like this the whole
An
interview.
arm only. Is my camera working? Can you see me?
You're good now. Sit in front of a window or something?
Well, no, I got one of my members, Odin, sent me a gimbal last week. So this is my first time using it for one of these streams.
Looking good, man.
Yeah, man, it's pretty awesome. But so you got a case coming up too, huh?
Resisting without violence.
It's the video I saw, wasn't it? Were you?
I don't know what I was resisting, but okay.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That was ridiculous.
So where do we start with your case? One of your friend's kids got like beat up by the cops, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it turned out to be a person I knew. Well, I knew the kid that got beat up, but not real well. I just had run in with him a time or two, offered him a job. He was talking to me about working for me, but fast forward several years and you'll sort of understand. So I started my channel, and in the meantime, my channel was starting to grow a little bit. And that kid's dad reached out to me once my channel was a little bit established, and he was telling me about what happened. But yeah, so his name's Tyler. He had been severely beaten by the Kentucky State Police. It was actually the Hardin County Sheriff's Department and Kentucky State Police. So all I was doing, more or less, was going to the Kentucky State Police Post 4 with the father, because his son was in jail, to force them to do a formal, like a written and turned in and recorded complaint against the officer that was, beating him up. I'm trying to be careful with my words because I don't want your channel to get hit.
Okay, so you're at the Kentucky Post 4, which is basically a police station, right?
It is, yeah. The Kentucky State Police Post 4 police station. Yeah,
Okay.
That's where I was.
You're with your friend. You're helping your friend file a complaint against the people who beat up his son, the cops.
Yep.
They pretend like they're taking you serious, and then they go in the back for about, what, 20 minutes?
45. They kept trying to get me to leave. Like, they just did not want to take the report. And then, they kept coming out at different times throughout the 45-minute period, doing anything and everything they could to run me out of there. So they were saying things like, you can't turn that in here. You have to do it in Lexington. And we don't have any blank forms here. And, just the whole runaround, every runaround that they give normal people that don't know the process, that usually works to make them leave. That's what they were doing. They tried all the tricks in the book.
And when they couldn't get you to leave?
When they couldn't get me to leave, they came out with handcuffs and said I had a warrant from 1998, which that's what I wanted to kind of come on here and tell you about. So
24 years prior.
Yeah, 24 years ago. So they said that I had a warrant for a single marijuana cigarette from 1998, which is ridiculous, right? Well, let me tell you how it's even more ridiculous. So I got court coming up. This is my fourth lawyer, okay, that I've gone through on this. And not all of them have been like wrong for me or whatever. It's just that I have been kind of trying to hurry up and just get the lawyer that I want to do the thing that I need, which is obviously to get it dismissed. And I'd like to tell you why. So when you dig into the report from 1998 and you start looking at what they're saying this warrant was created from, like the situation that occurred, it goes like this. So a police officer went with, okay, let me start like this. So a call was made for a person's child, concern for the safety of a person's child, to the Child Welfare Department. So the Child Welfare Department brought a Radcliffe City police officer along to a Radcliffe City address at a trailer park. And so that's kind of the basis of how this goes, right? So this cop is with this caseworker, and they're responding to a child welfare call for CPS. In 1998. Yep.
It's a real case.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So so the officer is with the caseworker, and they're going to this address at this trailer park in Radcliffe. And so it says that they get there, and then the cop just says, well, the guy that lives there said that it was okay that I come in and search his house. So then it goes on to proceed. He's searching the house in the report, and he says, I opened up the kitchen cabinet and I found a marijuana cigarette and some paraphernalia, which I'm assuming maybe rolling papers or something. I don't know. But yeah, so a marijuana cigarette. And then he says, at that point, I established, the person in a citation, like I handled it through a citation, and that's pretty much it for the police report. So they're saying that they came to a trailer in a trailer park in 1998 with Department of Child Services because that person's child was being called on, right? Well, here's a couple things right off the bat. One, I don't have any children. I don't have any children.
Sure you don't, but go ahead.
And I certainly didn't have any children I was responsible for at 18 years old, right?
That's how old you were in 1998?
Yeah, I would have been 18.
Okay.
Yep. And then the address, the trailer, it says that it's lot 2461. Well, I've been to Marsden, or I've been to that place, and like since all this has occurred, since these, this allegation has been risen at, in the past year, and I've talked to the owner of it, and they said they have never had more than 200, and I think it was 205 lots ever. So there's never been anywhere near a 2461. So the address has never existed ever.
Okay.
So there's no way that it could be true, right, in the first place, because how can you go with a CPS worker to someone's house who don't have a kid, and then the house not even exist that you went to? It makes no sense.
And who's saying this?
Yeah, I mean, on its face, the whole case should just be.
Who is writing this down? Where is
That was an officer from Radcliffe, Kentucky, according to the paperwork.
An officer from Radcliffe, Kentucky in 1998 made this report.
Yep. That's what they're saying.
And
so they've got this.
And they'd attached you to this, to a place you've never lived, a trailer that's never existed, to an address that's never existed, to kids that you don't have.
Right.
And where'd they get the name from?
I'm sorry?
And the name on the whatever that makes it you somehow?
Yeah, the name on both of that document and on the warrant itself was spelled differently. The last name was spelled 2 letters different than mine. So I can't remember exactly. Like mine's Reiter. And I can't remember exactly how they had it spelled, but I think it was Rettre or something like that. But it was different. It wasn't the same as mine. But even if it was like
you,
well, I mean, the address never existed.
None of it exists.
I mean, yeah. So to me,
we're basically saying the whole thing was drawn up from their imagination.
I don't know what else to make of it, John.
And you're going to court over it. How many times have you been to court over it?
I think 5.
And what are some of the outcomes? What are you going to court? What's being said? What's being done?
Okay, so this is one of the main reasons I want to keep bringing this out on people's channels as well as my own and all, because I really want to drive this home so people fully understand this. The case that I am up against, it is not to defend myself against the marijuana cigarette from 1998.
What is it then?
They're saying that I didn't come to probation from it. They're saying that this person went to court and pled guilty and got put on probation, or lost and got put on probation for 2 years. So I am being alleged to have failed going to probation.
So you violated your probation from an address that didn't exist for kids that you don't have?
In a case that was never mine. So the case is called the hearing is called a probation revocation hearing. That's what I'm up against. And what I'm being told from everybody, everybody at court, everybody, all the lawyers, I've tried to do this without an attorney and talk to the prosecutor. All this is on my channel. You can go watch. But they're all saying none of the original case can be brought in the courtroom. You are here for a probation revocation. That's all we can talk about. You can't say, well, the address didn't exist. You can't say, well, I was never charged with the marijuana cigarette, or you can't say, well, this is the big deal for a marijuana cigarette, or none of that.
Why can't you say I'm not that person and I'm not on probation, nor have I ever been?
Well, I mean, that is what I'm saying. I'm saying I was not on probation, and that is my argument. So, but the only thing I'm arguing, just to make it really clear, super clear, is the probation revocation. That's all they'll let me argue. They're not even letting me use to establish it by saying that there's no way that this original case could have been mine. They're not letting me argue that at all.
You can't say I'm not on probation?
That part I can say, because you're talking about the probation.
Now, how are they going to prove it?
Well, that's what I need to be able to. For me, I need to be able to say the reason why I was never on probation. But they're not letting me.
The reason I can't violate my probation is because I was never on probation.
And that is my argument.
Doesn't that put the ball back in their court?
That's what I would have thought. That's what I've been led to believe throughout all of this. So here's what they're doing now. Now that the ball's in their court again. Now this is like I said, maybe fourth or fifth time around. Now the first time I think he said, "Oh well, we need more time to look at the case." This is the prosecutor I'm referring to. First time he said, "Well, I need more time to look at the case." Next time he said, "Well, I'm going to see if there's anyone that still works here that might have any information on the case." And then the next time I changed lawyers. And then the time after that, because they were trying to get me to plea bargain, which I don't, why would admit to something I didn't do. So then the next time the prosecutor was just me. I didn't have an attorney, and I talked to the prosecutor on my own behalf as my own representation. And I said, "Look, man, what's it going to take just to dismiss this? It's ridiculous. Obviously it couldn't have been me." And he said, "Well, I've had a lot of people say that, and so on and so forth." And I'm like, you have to establish these facts. Like, the address didn't exist. I don't have any kids. All of this stuff. The report was written in 1988, according to the documents, not 98. Like, none of this makes sense. That's not my signature.
Forged.
What's that?
It just seems completely forged.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this time around, now where I'm at now, okay, after spending a lot of money in attorneys, okay, so I lawyered back up, and I went with a lawyer that it was because his partner, so it's a firm, his partner said that they would be the ones to do the civil rights suit at the end of it. So I went all the way to Lexington, Kentucky, hired these higher priced attorneys because they were going to be traveling to Hardin, because at the end they were going to do the civil rights suit on contingency. So of course I spent more. I left a lawyer that I had just secured, and I made these big decisions based on that. And now those lawyers are coming to me saying, "Well, there's a new argument, Chris. Here's what they're going to do." And they are saying that there are okay. So when I was 17, I had a speeding ticket in Kentucky. This is my entire Kentucky record. Okay. When I was 17, I had a speeding ticket in Kentucky. And then when I was 18 and a half, I went to jail in Meade County, Kentucky, which is another area. Okay. Nowhere near Radcliffe, like 45 minutes away. So those two things are my Kentucky record. That is what all has happened to me in Kentucky. So they're saying that I signed. I had a phone call. I forgot to turn my notifications off. So they're saying that I had signed for the ticket, and that I had signed to be released from the Meade County Jail back then. Let me turn this off.
You signed what?
Well, I don't know. I guess you sign for a speeding ticket. I don't know.
So what? Did you sign for a speeding ticket?
Well, yeah, right. So here's what I'm getting at. So now, like, fast forward to right this minute where I'm at. So I get to my lawyer's office the other day, and I was hugely disappointed because he brings out 4 pieces of paper. Okay, one was this speeding ticket from when I was 17. Okay, and this is all just what's available on my Kentucky record. And then the other was where I signed my release to get out of the jail from Meade County when I was 18 and a half. And then the other 2 were both from what they're calling this case from when I was 18. So you got 17, 18, and then 18 and a half. And that's it. So, like, there is nothing else in Kentucky. So what they're doing is they're comparing those 4 signatures, and they all look okay. First of all, 2 look different than the other 2, but 2 of them look freaking identical. I mean, so like if you signed your name 3 or 4 times, would it be exactly identical? Because these are. So 2 of them are completely identical, and then the other 2 are completely identical, but the middle or the last name and the first name are spaced further, but you can literally transpose it and lay it down on top, which we did. And it is exactly the same signature. Exactly. Pen stroke starts in the same place, ends in the same place. Every single little bit of it exactly the same. So what I'm saying is that these are obviously not only just a forged signature, because none of the 4 signatures look anything like mine. Okay? None. Not at all. My signature is way different than those.
All right.
And it looks like a girl wrote them, right? Because you could read every single letter. It's like beautifully written, and it's never been my ability to even write my name that way, much less sign. And I'm a contractor for a living, so when it comes to signatures, man, I'm all about making a signature and not signing, not actually writing my name, but signature. So, I've always done that. So I am alleging that I believe, and I truly do believe this, I believe that they created this signature and then put it in everything that I had in Kentucky's files. That's what I'm thinking they've done, because nothing else makes sense.
What are they saying they have your signature on?
The speeding ticket, okay, from 17 years old.
For that, right?
What's that?
You did sign for that, though, right?
I don't remember signing, but I'll tell you, I got the speeding ticket.
Yeah. So,
I remember getting the ticket. You know what I mean? I don't remember signing, but who knows?
All right.
I was 17. I'm 45, 46.
All right.
And then the next one is this court case, right, that they're alleging.
1998 case?
Yeah. And then the next one is they're alleging that this person went to probation. They're saying it was me. And that was a signature for a probation hearing or a probation show up, And then the next one is my jail release form, which I don't remember signing anything for that neither.
You probably get out of jail if you were in jail.
But it also says that I paid $1,000 to get out of jail, and I didn't.
Oh, okay. And
which is weird.
Which signatures are exactly the same?
Yeah, those are to each other.
All 4?
No. So 2 of them are exactly the same, and then the other 2 are exactly the same. So to me, I'm saying that they probably created it in the first place, right? Signed 2 forms trying to sign as each other, like trying to copy what they did the first time.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And then transposed the second to each one.
And they think that alone is going to win their case for them, or what?
That's all they got. And I'm telling you, what's aggravating me is my expensive lawyer is also saying that's going to win their case.
What? No.
How? So the only other option that they're giving me, and this is my own lawyer, so I am being forced to plead under duress. Like, I am not happy, right? Because this is obviously stupid. It's not me. It could not have everyone knows, the judge knows, the prosecutor knows, every lawyer that I've talked to has to know it couldn't have been me. I don't have any kids.
Right. So if this went to trial, would there be a jury?
No, it's probation revocation. It's just the judge's decision.
Let's say they revoke your probation and basically claim you're this imaginary person.
30 days in jail.
How many?
30 days in jail.
Hell no.
That's what's up. Yeah. So like they are telling me right now, and I'm talking about they being my own attorney, is telling me that the prosecutor and the judge are going to give me 30 days in that jail if I don't plea bargain. And the plea bargain is even dumber. So like I don't drink, I don't do any drugs, like I don't even drink, like I do not partake in anything like that. And the probation is 30 days of taking a drug treatment course. So I'm going to be, if I take this, I'm going to be doing a drug treatment course and I have not done any drugs in years and years and years.
Well, you're going to pass.
Well, yeah. No, well, it's not a test.
I know.
I got to go through this course for addiction. And it's ridiculous. Like the only thing I'm addicted to is coffee and cigarettes,
What are you going to do?
I don't fucking know, man. So the only other option, and the lawyer is offering this, he's just overpriced, which if he's watching this, yeah, buddy, you're overpriced. He's wanting me to, if I want to argue, which they're recommending I don't, but if I want to argue, I have to pay like another $2,000 to $3,000 for a handwriting analysis expert and the argument to come in and actually argue the thing. Now, I would say that this handwriting expert would very quickly realize that these 4 signatures match each other. They match each other, but too well. Way too well.
Do they look like they're even in ink or what?
Dude, you can see the line, a box around the signature on one of the forms where it was obviously taped on. You can see it. You can see the line going around it. Like it's not even like they didn't even do a good job. You can literally see from the photocopier going over it, you can see where it was something taped on where the signature is supposed to be on one of them.
$3,000 for one of them people?
What's that?
$3,000 to compare 4 signatures?
That's what they're saying. That's what my lawyer's saying, but I think he's just overpriced, and I'm dealing with it, but I don't know what to do here because, John, what it boils down to is this. Of course, I want a handwriting expert to come in. Of course, because of course I don't want to plead to something I obviously didn't do. Right. But I switched lawyers a whole bunch of times. This whole time, my channel subscribers, my supporters have been financially keeping me going on this, right? Like I don't make enough money to afford anything extra. So when this stuff happens, it's almost all, now, I did put in some of my own, but it's almost all their money that they've been keeping me afloat on be able to pay. And I lost it. You know what I'm saying? I've lost it like up to this point because I don't feel like I've gotten anywhere when the very first day that the prosecutor came back with a plea, it's exactly the same now as it was then. It's the same plea bargain they're offering. So like, I feel bad, like I've lost, even though all these people have been doing it. And now I don't want to ask anyone for any more money, and I'm kind of screwed because me and Tiffany just signed with our civil rights lawyer for our raid suit just last week. And that's where all of our money is going. All of it now. Like what all of what we got is going to them because we have to pay them $10,000 by the end of the year, in increments of 2,500. So I can't afford to put any more into a handwriting analysis expert. and I can't ask my subscribers to do any more than they've already done.
What is your lawyer saying about arguing the fact that you're not on probation to begin with?
Good fucking question, bro. Like, I'm so angry with
Lawyer
that.
say about that?
The signatures, like everything goes right back to, well, those 4 signatures, they look the same. That's what they're going to do. You're going to lose. I've been to that court before. These judges are going to just briefly look over them and say, yep, they look the same, and you're going to go to jail for 30 days. That's what they're telling me. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts.
He can't argue those aren't my signatures.
Well, obviously, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, and I'm saying that to my own lawyer.
The only way to prove that's with a handwriting expert for thousands of dollars.
I guess that's the only way they do it at court. Yeah. So, but here's the thing, man.
Your own signatures you have on like old paperwork. You can't.
If I have anything from way back then, you know, but
I mean, from back then, does your signature look anything like the ones that the 4? No.
My signature is completely different than those.
Does the signature on your driver's license look anything like that?
Not at all.
Do you have any passports?
Yeah.
Does the signature on your passports match any of those 4?
Not at all.
So why do you need a writing expert? You got your own comparison.
I know. So well, because that's the only way you can argue it in court is what they're telling me, is if you get the expert. So I think what I'm trying to say is that, first of all, I don't think it should cost $2,000 more to get a handwriting expert. I think what he's saying is, if we get a handwriting expert, I'm not just going in and saying, all right, we'll take the plea, but I'm actually going to be arguing. So he's saying it might cost another $3,000, upwards of $3,000 more, you know, which I get it, I guess. I don't know what kind of argument. I think that's all that there is these signatures. And I think that a handwriting analysis expert would easily, like, I'm upset that you even need an expert, because any person in the freaking world would look at my signature in comparison to those 4. The argument is going to be this: these are recorded records, right? With the seal stamp on it.
Yeah.
From the date from way back when. So I don't know how, like I said, the only thing that makes sense is that little box around one of those signatures. I think they took the signature they wanted it to look like, put it over the top of it, and that's why the stamp is the same. And I'll tell you what, guys, here's what I'll do. On my channel later, on my community page, I will publish everything that I can and redact what I have to, so that y'all can see the lines going around that signature. It looks to me like someone used an X-Acto knife, cut out the square that a signature was on, taped it on top of the signature line, left the box,
yeah,
and then photocopied it with the stamp. That's simple. So they took my real records, the real speeding ticket, the real jail release, and they pasted on a signature that they wanted it to look like over the top of the real signature that looks nothing like what they got. That's what I think they've done.
And you can't, and the lawyer's saying you can't just prove it yourself.
No, I mean, yeah, but if I'm lucky, because they are dead set on giving me 30 days in jail. They want to punish me. For one, the judge even said it when I wasn't there. I got a recording of it. The judge was like, oh, yeah, he was being a jerk over at the state police post. Well, mind you, I was not arrested for that. The judge shouldn't have any knowledge of that. So they're obviously colluding, right? They want to punish me for being a jerk at the state police post. And I was not being a jerk. If you watch my video, what I was doing was saying, guys, I'm not leaving. I'm going to file a complaint on your officer, your trooper, Adam Sandage, for beating the crap out of that kid.
Why can't they let you file a complaint? I don't understand that.
Well, that's how it is out there, man. They cover for each other. That's why there's so much that goes wrong in that part of the country. You're talking about the same exact jurisdiction where Crystal Rogers unaliving happened, where the cop Jason Ellis unaliving happened, where you know what I'm saying? All these things. There was these 2 women that that their lives were ended in their own home. And it's because it's all revolving around like the police out there. And there's been known affairs for cops, girlfriends and wives to be hooking up with other cops. You know, like this area is just it's just their government is garbage.
What
You
county
know,
is
they're
this?
good old boy network.
What county is this?
It is, well, there's multiple counties involved in the jurisdiction, but it's Kentucky State Police Post 4 jurisdiction. But the counties are like Nelson and Hardin. My case is in Hardin, which is right next door to Nelson, but it's all in Post 4's jurisdiction. So what you're looking at is like a hierarchy.
Nelson and Hardin, Kentucky?
Yeah, right. So what you're looking at is like a hierarchy of what police agencies are in charge of each other, right? So like if the city PD is doing stuff wrong, then the sheriff's department might look into it and say, look, stop. And, you know, the county jurisdiction would. And then if the county jurisdiction or the city needed to be looked into, then it would be the Kentucky State Police that should step in and ensure that they're acting right. But what I'm telling you guys is what the problem is the Kentucky State Police out there. They're horrible. So they don't care what happens under them. As a matter of fact, they support what happens under them because they cover it up each and every time. So if you recall, what I started by saying is it was the Hardin County Sheriff's Department employees that pulled Josh Tyler over in the first place. So when Adam Sandage from KSP joined them, he was already jumping in and doing the same exact thing that they were right off the bat. Now, if you're a Kentucky State Police Post 4 officer, professional supposedly, right, and you pull up on the crime scene where they're supposed to be constitutionally and appropriately professionally handling a driver that tried to flee, and you see him yank him out of the vehicle while he's completely compliant, put him in handcuffs and start beating him with a flashlight, then your job as the KSP officer is to go, whoa, stop doing that. Don't do that. But that ain't what Adam did. Adam was like encouraging them. Come on, guys, keep on going, ramming it, just going and hitting him with knees and everything else. Matter of fact, he pulled off, let the other two cops handle him for a minute, walks away and comes back and starts doing it again. Yes. So anyway, what I'm getting at is the Kentucky State Police Post 4 suck. They're not professional. They're not constitutional. They don't care about anybody under them acting up. And that's why you get these unsolved, unaliving cases that go on for so long. I guarantee it. I guarantee you that's why. Because as soon as the feds step in, problems are solved. Every time.
Tell us about this police chief that got raided and arrested.
On my side of the bridge?
Yeah.
I'm in Indiana. Well, before we get to that, I want to tell you this.
Go ahead.
So at the time, 1998, that this whole thing happened, I lived in Sellersburg, Indiana. I lived in Indiana. I did not live in Radcliffe, Kentucky at all. I didn't live in Kentucky at all. And I had a valid current driver's license that was absolutely 100% for sure Indiana. I had never had a Kentucky license. So there is no way that a cop anywhere in Kentucky, and the first ticket shows that address as well. And then the release form from the jail, remember, 17, 18 and a half, and then 18 is what we're talking about. Both of those showed my Indiana address on the two outsides. So why would that be different 1 week in the middle?
Oh, I see. It was in the same year, basically?
Well, no. I mean, I was 17 years old for the ticket. But the ticket happened in Kentucky because you can be an Indiana driver and driving in Kentucky and get pulled over, which is what happened.
How far were you from Kentucky?
When?
When you got the speeding ticket.
Well, I lived in Indiana. That's where I live now. So
right. How far
Kentucky is 10 minutes down the road.
So you can get in Kentucky in no time.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I'm 10 minutes from Kentucky, from Louisville right now. Okay. And I've always lived in this area. You know what I'm saying? So you can get Kentucky, but to get to where they're talking about, Radcliffe, that's an hour, another hour south. You know what I'm saying? So, because to me, it's about an hour and 20 minutes with no traffic. But yeah, so yeah, I lived in Indiana. I had an Indiana license. There is no cop in the universe stupid enough to see a person with an Indiana license and say, "Hey, you live here in Kentucky?" I mean, how's that make sense? And then be looking at the license and write a Kentucky address on your site. How does that happen? That can't happen. Right?
Forgery was the only explanation I can get.
Even if it was a forgery, because I was thinking that too. I thought, well, maybe because I was dating a girl that lived in Radcliffe, which is how I got the speeding ticket out there. I thought, maybe it was the girl I was dating, maybe got one of my IDs or something, and then, one of her boyfriends she cheated on me with or something might have used it. But I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, how would that make sense? Because my ID would have not been Kentucky.
Right.
It would have been Indiana. So even if someone did have one of my old IDs, it would not have reflected in Kentucky. So therefore, the address that was written would still be wrong. So the cop would obviously catch someone trying to identify as me. I think, John, that this entire case is completely fabricated. That's what I think. I think they have taken, like someone had a cold case for a joint in 1998, and I think they have fabricated the documents to make that case look like the guy that they didn't want in Post 4 that day.
That's craziness. I've never even heard of a case like this before. Not even on all the stuff I watch, the crimes, the forensic files, the this, the that. I've never seen they just flat out pull the story out of thin air and attach you to it.
I haven't either, which is why I've been so hesitant to put it out there that way, because I realize how crazy it sounds for me to allege this, but I'm also giving you the facts.
If you didn't sign it, you didn't sign it, man.
That too, but I'm giving you the facts that I can show you on paper and prove it, right? I lived in Indiana. I do not have any kids.
Have you ever had a Kentucky address?
Yes, but it was 1 year after, and it was only for 60 days. But it was after all this, though. You know what I'm saying?
Was that address ever put on a license?
Yes.
So you had a Kentucky address on a Kentucky driver's license for 60 days.
A year later.
A year after everything.
Yeah, a year after all this. Right. So it couldn't have existed a year early. I mean, unless it's Back to the Future we go.
That's a bunch of horse dung. That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't understand it, John. It is just so wild to think, because these guys are not smart. Like, you go to Post 4 and you talk to these men, the cops, they're all dumber than rocks.
Hello. Speaking. Hi. Yes, ma'am. What time? 3. See you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're already late. It's 4:45.
Doctor's appointment tomorrow. Go ahead.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, you're still in the green. Yeah, man, these guys are dumb. I can't imagine them being able to fabricate this whole thing. It's got to just be the simplicity of their ability to get to these particular types of records. Like, we know everything that ever happened to somebody in our state because we're the state police. So we'll know if you've had a ticket. We'll know that there's this other cold case file that, and the guy that did the original case is an IT. According to the records, he works at that post as a retired officer doing IT for him. So, then we're talking about the Radcliffe cop here. So I'm wondering if it was just this simple. I'm thinking that Radcliffe cop remembered that he didn't solve this marijuana joint mystery case back in 1998, pulled out the old record from it and said, okay, now what do we know about the guy that we're really wanting in jail? And they go, well, he had a speeding ticket a year before 1988 or 98. So it was 97 or 96 was the speeding ticket. And then they go, and he's been in jail in Kentucky in Meade County in 99, right? So they went, okay, well, let's go get those records and do this in it. Let's stick that in there. And in that, they spelled the name wrong. I don't know what else.
So,
I mean,
my question would be, is there a way that there's another writer spelled a different way that did have that address? You ever tried doing like a people search? And
I would have thought that if that address had ever existed.
so the address never existed. There's nothing to really look up. It's just one fake dead end after another.
Every single bit of it is a dead end, even for them, though.
And your lawyer, your expensive lawyer is convinced that those lame ass signatures are enough to get you in jail or force you to take a plea deal.
I guess I'm using them. I paid them.
That's the thing, dude. Once you pay them, you're like at their mercy. What are you supposed to do at that point?
I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. I'm very unhappy with the choice of lawyer. I mean, fuck it. I'm just going to say it. If they're watching, sorry, guys. I mean, I thought that they were going to do a whole lot more for me. They're not even, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's all about the money for them or something. But I told them that the whole reason I was hiring them instead of the other was because they were going to do the civil rights lawsuit.
Right.
So the first thing that happens, as soon as the lawyer, the overpriced lawyer that I paid more for and had to end a relationship with a lawyer that was a lot lesser expensive, who I really, really liked, he comes in, he says, well, here's 4 signatures. They all look the same. That's all there's going to be to it. I don't know what else. It cost you a fortune to try to fight it. And then right after that, he's saying, I think we need to go ahead and plea bargain for what they're offering, because this is just dumb. You know, this is just a teeny tiny little marijuana case from blah, blah, blah. All you got to do is just 30 days. You don't do drugs. You're going to be just fine. I'm like, I know that, but that's not the point. And right after,
you just get it dismissed. If it's so dumb, just get it
right,
dismissed.
Right. And right after that, as soon as he thought he had me to the point where I was agreeing with him, the other lawyer came in the office and said, that means there's no civil rights suit.
Yeah, because if you take a plea, then yeah, it's like they're trying to just end it as fast as possible, collect a little bit of money they got from you or whatever they deem it to be. And
I don't even know what the problem is. All I know is that is not what I bought them for. This is exactly opposite of what I wanted when I switched attorneys this last time around. So I will go ahead and say this. I am not sure where I'm going to go from here, but I'm very likely to, and it'll chop me down some financially, because I don't know. I mean, I'm trying desperately to get the other attorneys paid, right? The ones that are on my Indiana lawsuit raid case. I'm going to have to do something now, probably, to get another attorney. I'm disheartened because, I mean, damn it, man. I just pleading to something you didn't do.
That's the worstest thing in the world.
I mean, at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had nothing to do with this thing at all.
Not even you.
It can't be me. It could not. It's literally, scientifically, humanly impossible. I don't have any kids. There's no way a DCS person would come to my house for my kid. I don't have a kid.
I still don't believe that those stupid signatures, like you're saying, are exactly the same. I can't. If you show the judge your actual signature and compare him, that he's going to say, sorry, you need an expert.
Yeah, they're saying you need an expert to do that, because what the lawyer is saying, and I'm not saying the lawyer's bad. I'm just saying the lawyer's not what I thought it was going to be, right? What the lawyer's saying makes sense, because they're not dumb. So he brought it to me. He says, well, here's the thing. A lawyer without a handwriting expert, without a big argument, a judge is just going to look at those 4 signatures and kind of briefly look at them and go, they look close to me, and then done. Why? So, yeah, I mean, But you would do the same thing, John, if it was just someone showing you 4 signatures and that look alike at a glance.
Why would I just agree? No, a glance isn't enough, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, even if you look at it real close, what you're going to see is that these 4 signatures that they're using look not just alike.
Exactly.
Literally, me and Tiffany have used so we did a photo image of it, right? And then we took the signature inlay and moved it and placed it on the other one. And we had to space the first name and the last name just a hair. And it was identical. And I am talking about from where the pen hits the paper up and back down, and then these loops.
It's one forged signature and photocopied 3 times or 4
2
times.
forged signatures, then photocopied twice. That's what you're looking at on these. Or 1 forged signature photocopied 2 different ways. Like spacing between the first and last name one way and tilting a little bit for the other one. Something like that. Because we're trying to figure out how to impose the second one. But the first one, the very first one, literally just went boom right onto the other one. Perfect. I'm talking not a singular length of pen to paper stroke, not even a centimeter different. Exactly the same. So 2 of these signatures, supposedly from years apart or a year apart, it's exactly the same. What are the odds if you yourself took pen to paper and wrote your name 1,000 times? I'll bet you couldn't find 2 of those out of the 1,000 to impose onto each other to be exactly the same. So this stinks to high heaven. It stinks to high heaven. And then on top of that, you can literally see on one of the 4 papers a box around just the signature that's not supposed to be there at all. There's even a line at the bottom of the paper that looks like, and it cuts off at the signature, and then the rest of the paper's blank where that line. So like that line, if anything, would have gone all the way across the paper, at the page header. But it doesn't. It's a line directly under the signature, and then the other line goes up, and then the signature's in it. You can see it. It's freaking taped on.
What? I don't know what you're gonna do, man. It looks like you might have to get another lawyer or fight it pro se. And I don't understand how you could show compared signatures and bring your own evidence in, and it's not gonna be plain as day. And show them like a little video. I don't know, man. And some of you could show that to a jury, but there's no jury, right?
No, there's no jury in a probation revocation case. You're not even arguing the original, which to me, that's what I would say. So like, here's what I think, like in the experience knowledge that I've gained to date, right? Like, cause if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I wouldn't even really had an opinion on court crap. I'd be like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't know nothing about it. But now that I have really dove into understanding court law, processes, procedures, constitutional rights, all that stuff, and I'm digging hard, deep. Now that I'm at that level, I look at this situation and I think, why in the hell could a person who is saying that was not me not get an opportunity to at least bring facts from the original case to the argument to the probation revocation? They are saying that we can't. I do not believe that to be true. I believe that there has to be something in law that allows you to bring evidentiary from the original case. Now, here's another thing. Tell me this, John. Out of all the parts of the record that they still have, tell me why they have disposed of, this is all they've disposed of, any mugshots, any fingerprints, or the video that was in the original courtroom, which existed. All 3 of those existed in this.
And they're all gone.
Why are those the only things gone?
So they got signatures and everything else is gone.
The only thing that's not gone is what they want to use.
They're just coming after you, man. Let's be honest.
It is a frame. It is a setup. And it makes no other sense. And I cannot be any more obviously clear about it. It is scientifically impossible.
Is there any way that lawyer is hooked up with any corrupted people? How'd you find
Maybe.
How'd you find that lawyer?
Freaking Google search for civil rights attorneys.
Oh, just randomly?
Yeah, but he's way out. I doubt it. And I'm not on here to bash that lawyer, that is my lawyer right now. So I'm not doing that at all. Like, as a matter of fact, I hope he thinks before he goes to bed at night, I hope he goes, damn, man, I'm really throwing this Chris guy under the bus, but then again, obviously, shit, man, hey, give me another 3,000 and maybe we'll argue it. I can't. I don't know, man.
It's just sickening, dude. That's just sickening.
Well, the thing that's got me angry the most, because obviously I could take this plea deal and just move on with it, right? And then file. We could still even take the other route, push the complaints to the FBI on the cops, right? Do bar complaints on the prosecutor and so on and so forth. We can do all that. And Tiffany and I are actually gotten really good at filing lawsuits ourselves. So to think that me and Tiffany I couldn't, I don't even need Tiffany, to think that I can't file my own lawsuit by the end of this year on post 4 for the other violations, not wrongful arrest. Like, let's just go ahead and throw that out. I still got a Fourth Amendment violation. They ran me for no reason. They ran my car for no reason. It was in a public parking lot. They roughed me up while I was in handcuffs for absolutely nothing. I was completely quiet.
Several times, not just the handcuff time, right?
I've got recording where the officer that arrested me admitted to conspiring to run my plates. They couldn't figure out who I was still. All they had was limited information, so they compared it to Kentucky. The dude caught himself on my little recording device. He was carrying it around with him the whole time out of my pockets, right? He didn't know it was a recording device. So I got a recording of him talking about how he conspired with his sergeant that was on duty that day. So I have Fourth Amendment violation where they searched me for no reason whatsoever. I've got another Fourth Amendment where they searched my vehicle for no reason whatsoever in a public parking lot unattached to me. I've got an Eighth Amendment violation where, they roughed me up in the cuffs and then in the car all the way to the jail. Like, my shoulder, I had to go to the hospital when I got out to get it looked at because it was a pulled muscle. But he had my hand cuffed backwards for pain compliance. So every time they would move me, they would use that elbow and it would yank the shit out of that muscle right there. I mean, bad, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a tough guy and I was trying, to sort of be tough about it because I was like, you ain't going to make me look like a wuss here, with all this. So, like, when he did it and it would hurt, sorry, my dog's got an ear infection, he's shaking off. But when he did it and it would hurt, I'd be like, I ain't gonna say that. But then he would pull a little harder and like, fuck, it hurts, So I had to eventually sort of say something, but it did. It ended up tearing the muscle. So I had to go to the hospital after I got out of jail for that. They didn't give me any water. No water. They would not give me a single drink of water the whole time I was at the jail for 24 hours. I got it. I ended up getting my water in the next morning at like 3 a.m. when a new jailer came in. And I was like, I have been in here all night. I've been asking for a single sip of water since I got here. I was like, I don't have a fucking cup. And the only way to get water in that room was there's a trickle, a fountain that when you push it all the way, it just rolls over. And it's the top of the toilet. It's disgusting. So the water just rolls over. So what they're doing is they're making the inmates push it down really hard and then touch your cup to the side so the water will go into the cup and slowly fill. So that was the only way to get a drink of water, is either that or stick my face to the fucking thing, which I was not going to do, right? You're talking about a toilet. So I did not get a drink of water. And then they were trying to get me to make an agreement without talking to an attorney because they refused to give me a number, a bracelet number for like 16 hours, 14 or 16 hours. They would not give me a bracelet number to use the phone. You have to have the number on your bracelet to use the phone. So I could not call an attorney. They were trying to get me to make an agreement without an attorney or calling an attorney. And they kept bringing me out saying, go ahead and let's get this paperwork signed and you can get out of here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I am not saying shit until I get an attorney present, So I stuck it out. So that's more Eighth Amendment violations right there, right? I can file on all this stuff because even if you take away malicious prosecution, even if you take away the false arrest, you still have all these other violations. And if they think for one fast mouse running second that I'm not going to file it, those people are stupider than I thought they were. There is, mark my words, there is no way in hell I'm not filing a lawsuit on them people, with or without an attorney, for what they did January 2nd, 2023.
It will happen. When you say lawsuit, you're talking about a 1983 civil rights lawsuit, right?
Absolutely. Fourth Amendment. I got Fourth Amendment. I got First Amendment because they retaliated because I was videoing. So First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Eighth Amendment for the way they treated me. And then another Fourth Amendment on top of that because they took my car. They took my car and impounded it and searched it. So they're screwed. It don't matter what they do to me, even if they put me in jail for 30 days, even if I lose this case, I still have a lawsuit. Lawyers aren't going to want to do it because you don't have that big fancy malicious prosecution, big money part in there. But that ain't going to stop me from doing it. I'm going to.
Want to hear a quick joke from Frank Pants? What's the difference between a lawyer and a carp?
A carp is cleaner.
One is a bottom feeding scum sucker and the other is a fish. All right.
I actually have some really good lawyer friends that are just as frustrated with the system as we are.
Well, you still need them regardless of the fact that some of them are bad.
Dude, a lot of them are bad. Not some. It's almost the same percentage as police
and judges
in general
and politicians.
Yes, sir. It is that bad.
In training.
And they're just making quick bucks. It's all about money, greed. It's what it really boils down to.
Turnover. It's about turnover.
My dog's not going to let me do this much longer, John.
That's all right, man. It's been an hour. So last things you want to say? People help you? Do you want recommendations?
I mean,
I don't know a different angle about this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people can I've already asked for this from my channel too. I don't think anybody's really going to know what to say other than, do the plea or don't do the plea. But I'm here to kind of explain what that means. Is I don't want to do the plea, obviously, but to not do the plea, I am going to have to pay for an argument. I'm going to have to re-up on a lawyer. I'm going to have to get a handwriting specialist, which I've learned is only like $300. So I don't know where this lawyer's coming off with 3,000.
Sounds like he don't want the case for some reason.
I think the grain. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Why? Something's fishy there. Something's carpy.
It's very carpy. Yep. Okay. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I want to fight this, but I don't want to ask for anything else. That being said, if my people are just like dead set on saying, Chris, fight it. Look, I'm not afraid to fight it with the right tools. So here's what I would need to fight it. I need more money because I have to get a handwriting specialist. I have to pay, I think, another lawyer for the argument. Even if I kept the lawyer I've already paid for it, I'm going to make him partner up with another lawyer because I'm not happy with them suggesting that I should plea. I'm not looking for a single lawyer that suggests me to plea on this. Right. So I would say another lawyer, and I've already paid for the other one, so that part ain't going to matter. He ain't going to give me money back. You know what I'm saying? And he's already paid to come to court with me on the next session. So I'm saying I would need more money, and I don't want to ask for that. But if you say, Chris, for public safety, you got to fight this, then I am going to have to be prepared to fight it with more money. And right now, where I am asking for money is to help us pay that $10,000 thing we got going with our civil rights lawsuit for the raid that started my channel in the first place. Because that is my priority.
Broke Tiffany's back.
Yeah, that's my priority. You know, so I'm not saying I won't, but I'm saying it's highly unlikely unless somehow magically, like at least another $1,500 just boom appears before October. I think it's 18th or something like that. So what? A couple weeks away, if even that. So guys, it's not looking good. I don't know what else to do, but I can tell you, science freaking proves it wasn't me. So I'm thinking,
just keep pushing forward. If you have to let it go, let it go. If you can fight it, fight it. Like you said, let you and your subscribers decide what the best thing to do is in your case.
Yeah. Well, I do have 2 separate GoFundMe's just in case it happened. So, I mean, they're both available on my channel and my email. You could always get it from me however you want.
And his channel is For Public Safety, and his girl's channel is, say it for me,
Official Misconduct with 2 S's. So misconduct.
And he is For Public Safety, and she is Official Misconduct. They go. Someone's writing stupid stuff. Sorry. They both go out together and do amazing stuff.
Yeah, we're like a victims' rights channel. Both of us are, and she does a lot more like clerical type stuff on her channel, and I'm more like in your face, boots to the ground. But we go boots to the ground together in the majority, and usually we're doing it in response to an incident that occurred on a victim of the government. So we're almost always approaching the government, like locally, local PD or local sheriff or local judge or local prosecutor, somebody, and we're going, why did you do this thing to this person? Explain this, explain these things, explain it. So we're literally advocates for victims' rights, but we do it from a journalistic standpoint. So we're expressing our First Amendment the way it's written from a journalist's avenue, and we're pressing it onto our YouTube channel. So you watch it, each and every inch of it.
You guys are journalists, activists, auditors, all the above. You guys are wonderful. You guys go out as a couple. Please, again, go to For Public Safety and Official Misconduct. Sub to their channels, support their cause, donate if you can. And that's pretty much it, man. I appreciate you coming on for this installment. We could keep going on with the story as time goes on.
Yeah. Well, while I'm here, I want to say, let's help this guy out too. Yeah. I know we're on your channel, so your supporters are probably already are, but I sent a bunch of people over from my channel to come watch this too, John. Mm-hmm. And man, I watched your video, and as a matter of fact, I might do a little, like a segment or 2 out of what happened to you and make a little video to bring more people to awareness to your case, because they're trying to ham him up for something like you didn't exist.
If it wasn't for the my supporters, I might still be sitting in the cell for all I know. I mean, my wife would have got me out, but within 7 hours, I was out of there. 6-7 hours, they got me out of there. I can't thank you guys enough. And again, this is for him this time. Next installment, we'll do me and whatever the case may be, and we'll go from story to story and keep you updated, dude. Thank you so much.
Well, I love you, brother. And for your subs, man, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, man.
No, my pleasure.
All right, sir. Take it easy.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. All right, everybody. Tomorrow night, I don't know who this dude is, who we can't seem to block. That likes little. Oh my God, what is wrong with these people? Oh, your feelings are hurt and you want to come lash out on my live stream. Wah. My feelings are hurt. Block these guys if you can, man. Anyway, giving this away tomorrow night. If you could see it. There it is. Giving that away tomorrow night. It hooks up to your rifle. It's pretty awesome. All right. Take it easy, everybody. I don't know who these hackers are all of a sudden, but it's pretty funny. You guys are losers. Have a good day, everybody. I hope you like the live stream. Sorry I haven't been on in a while. More from my trespass appeal hearing soon. And join me tomorrow night, members only, to win the flashlight. Members only. Until then, much love, peace, tranquility, chicken grease. And all the haters, keep on hating, bro. You ain't bothering me.